Konbanwa. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Shaw Misfire. Hello, Spiegel. Who else we got here? Happy Ukes. Crochet just left. Ruha. How are we all doing? All good? It's a strange time. It's a weird one for me. Things are a little bit different, the setup. I've changed little bits. But the time's strange. It's, 9:30 now? 9:30. Good morning, General Zimmer. Oh, welcome. First time, right. You said you wanted to join last one. Hello, hello, hello. Watching this at work, yeah. Feel free to put it on in a tab in the background. If your boss comes around, you can quickly hide it. I know a lot of people tend to watch these streams while they're like on their lunch break or just on a separate tab at work. So I figured for any of the Europeans, like it's in the middle of the work day. I can't really go much later. I can't wait for your day to end. But I can do if you're willing to put it on in the background sneaky. Hello, Vivid. How are you? Isn't it really late for you guys? How are you? So yeah, I'm guessing there won't be as many people in this chat as the other one. I'm really unsure. I didn't do any tests at this time, so I'm a little bit iffy about if we're going to get any people here at all. Probably not as much as the Friday streams. My bulb is all messed up here. Get that there. It's 7:30 in the morning. I'll be here. Okay, so I caught you on the other end, actually. It's not that terrible. I thought it'd be much worse than that. 23 already, nice. Got me some lovely Earl Grey. It's a perfect thing for 9:30 at night. I'm British, we drink tea all day. Just about to turn light. Thank you for getting up early. So, I think you all know what's going to be happening on these streams. If there's anyone new here, I'm working on a print that I designed about a year ago and I haven't had any time. And so now I'm dedicating these streams in particular will always be, for the foreseeable future are all going to be this bonsai print that we're working on. Here it is. Wait, I got to figure out where everything is. So this is the print we're working on, a bonsai print. We're still on the very first block, which is the dark lines of the print. We'll be working on that. I got a few little bits that I can share with you. I got a little book to show you, and I got some stories. It's been holidays here in Japan. This year it's very, very short. Usually it can be about 7 to 10 days. Last year it was 10 days, the Golden Week, this period that we get every year. It's one of the big holidays in Japan. And this year we've had 4 days, including 2 weekends, so it's not a great one. It's pretty much as bad as it gets. So tomorrow's back to work. This is the last night. No drinking beer for me on my last day of holiday, because you can't drink and carve, or you shouldn't. Sometimes I do, but you really shouldn't. Anyway, we're going to be working on this bonsai print. I'm going to get started, see if we can get into this. Got to grab a knife. The title scene said sharpening, and about a minute before I did a very, very quick and ready sharpen. Hello, Dan Scotch. Hello, Murda. I don't know how to pronounce your name, is that right? Murda? Mudna. I missed the N. There we go, got it. Just finished cooking my lunch. Okay, perfect. Eat your lunch, watch the stream. If anyone feels like they need to lurk, or if you need to dip out, feel free. Catch the streams later. I'm also uploading them on my second YouTube channel, Ginkgo Proofs. I set that up and I uploaded the last stream. So if you want to check that out, I can set a command here. what is it, archive. Is that correct? No. Spell it. There we go. So if you follow that, if you need to dip out any point but want to catch the stream, but you don't have time in the week or so Twitch gives you, you can always rewatch it there. Hello Koringami. I need to talk to you later. You hang around for a bit. I need to talk to you. Late night stream. Yeah. This is going to be a regular thing. Anyway, let's move over to the block. I'll say hellos to in a little bit. Let's just get started. Otherwise, we'll just be staring at my face the whole time. Okay. Small change. The last streams, I've been using the camera with a shorter lens, and this time I'm using a really big lens. But because I'm using such a big lens and the camera has to be so close, I'm using like this adapter that is used for macro photography. It like adapts lenses into being able to come really close and take up close zooms. But the depth of field is really poor on it, so maybe this won't work. We're going to test it today, so this is another test. Hello Wheelchair Willie. Okay, let's get carving. I've done nothing since last stream. I'm just going to jump in where we were last time. Okay. And then we can get some updates. Let me just get the first couple cuts out the way so I can find a rhythm. Jesus, we started on a fine little line there. I should have started somewhere a little bit easier. You're supposed to ease yourself into the work. There's not really any ease yourself into the work portions on this. Part of the reason for that is that these are the kind of lines that I find fun to carve. Flowy little lines. If they're a little bit longer, they can be really fun as well. But these lots of little bumps and grooves and swiggle little lines, these are the most fun thing for me to carve. So if you're designing your own prints, you get to decide the work you're going to have to be doing for the next however long this takes. So I chose to do something that I find fun. Hello Soviet. No, I'm sorry, we don't have a command for the schedule yet. There's a bunch of stuff on my table that I need to sort out. Is the depth of field okay? Yeah. Because it's been the Golden Week, so I've had time off work. I decided to, because it was such a short national holiday this year, I decided that I was just gonna put everything down and actually have a long break. I was planning on reading a book, but I ended up being so busy, but not with work. So this is the first time I've picked up the knife since last Friday. It's coming back. I feel alright. It's yeah, thank you. The schedule is 9:30 a.m. Friday Japanese times and 9:30 p.m. Vivid KP, thank you. You're on it. Besides shaving time, moving the block, can you talk about benefits versus drawbacks of carving this way? This is a really big topic, and I have the foundations of a script to talk about this, but I will be doing a YouTube video for this, because it's a question I get all the time. And it's obviously, I don't think in any other tradition really, be that European woodcut or lino, it's not really a thing anywhere that I've seen. It's kind of unique to Japanese printmaking, and there's a couple reasons for it. The biggest and most important reason is that for the flow and taste of the lines, if you are coming around a corner, coming around like this, on an outside, it's more pronounced on an outside actually. When you're cutting an outside of a cut like this, if you come, twist the block, and do it again, what you end up with, no matter how good you are, unless each time you go back you're shaving some off the portion you've already cut, if you just try and match those two lines, you're never going to get a perfectly smooth curve on the macro. You can get a perfectly smooth curve that will appear on the print if you do it really carefully and you shave back and you go back before the portion you've cut. So you cut and then you come back to here and cut and then overcross them and keep it. So there's always an overlap. And go back like 0.5 millimeter or something. You can get them nice and smooth. But when you do it in one smooth pass like that, the round corner, it's mechanically perfectly smooth. You haven't just shaved it down and you've got it to look smooth. It is smooth. So the taste is better. And you can catch the, even if they look similar, there's something about the lines that's just really difficult to describe, but you get a feeling of it when you look, when you're obsessed with looking at the lines and you stare at them all day every day like carvers do. You pick up on those things, and maybe the average print viewer wouldn't know, but it is a thing that you can see. So that's one, the flow of the lines. The other thing is that when you train to do it like this, in all instances, it's not optimum to carve without rotating the block. Well, we're right into the technical just from the very start. Is this like, if people are here first time and don't really know anything about carving, this might be a bit off-putting. We'll do a little bit of a technical thing and then we'll go back to some general chat. I'm going. Vivid KP's cracking the whip. The biggest point is, another main point is that while it's not always optimum to carve without rotating the block, the ability to carve nicely without being able to without turning the block is really, really, really critical. Especially when we're doing small postcard prints, it doesn't matter. But when you're doing much larger prints, like an Aubin print, you can't rotate that block and sit on the floor or sit with the desk at this height. The desk is really close. I can get a fist between my legs and the table. You can't sit like this, twist the block into your belly. We'll switch to the face cam for a bit and I can twist it down. We're going to ruin the whole setup right in the first couple minutes. Right, here we go. I'm here and I want to carve, let's say over here. I'm carving a circle over here. If I turn this is so far away from me now that I have to lean over or I have to change and sit on my knees because I can't reach that comfortably and I can't get the same sort of flow when I'm turning the block. So that's another point. That's another really big point. when you're so far away, you have less control. You want your knife close into your body. This is where we have the most control. And we can move our bodies up like this. The planks we get are always longer than they are tall. You never get a block that's like this, and you would never carve it like this. The grain always runs like this across the block. So the grain direction is always set in one position, and the block is always longer this way, which means that we can carve comfortably on basically any reasonably sized block, because we don't have to reach that far. We can get our body up here and still be in a really comfortable position. But if we were to turn it like this, this is not a comfortable position, and I can't carve cleanly there with the setup in the traditional Japanese traditional way. So that's another point. I think for now that's enough points. We're going to have lots of streams, and I can talk ad nausea about this topic. I thought about it a lot because people have asked me this a lot, so I've had a lot of time to think about it. But those are a couple of the main points. The ability to carve without turning the block means that you can carve anything prettily, which is the point. So we don't turn the block to get nice, beautiful lines. There is more, but we won't do it now. Love your shirt. Thank you. Yeah, I love this one. It's from Montbell. This is one of my favourite prints. I really like this one. It's Tsurugi-san by Hiroshi Yoshida. One day I will carve that print. Well, Koringami's saying, I guess Dave gets away with it because he uses a microscope for the chat. That is a point now, but he in the early days he didn't use a scope, and so I don't know if that's a really valid point. It's not so much about placing it in the line, because you can do that with enough practice, and you can. I'm not saying that anyone should practice this way. If you're just making your own prints and you've practiced a certain way, you don't have to. This is like, it's an extra 2% on top. It's those last, the exponential curve. It really when you start to plateau your level, if you have this at the top of that curve, if you're doing the very best work you can, and you don't turn the block, you have just that little bit extra on the top, and it makes a difference at those higher levels. If you're just carving casually, like you're not putting in the hours probably to, and most of you are not spending your whole lives, like your whole working careers doing this. Anyway, back to carving. Jesus. You've already got me going on tangents and not carving. It's a good thing this is my own project. I guess on the Friday streams I've got to be careful that I don't get too carried away in explanations about stuff like this. Well, I think it's good content. I guess it's why you're here. So even if I don't get my work done, that's for after the stream. It has really surprised me though how little work I get done on these streams. I guess it'll get better as I get more used to chatting and streaming. We're a good distraction. You are. It's fun. It's nice. I don't see many people if I don't chat to you guys. I don't leave the house very often. I guess it's good to say this now. Like, I have no qualms about... I know Dave on his stream says if Taran will be watching, he'll be shaking his head at this. But, like, that's nothing from me. I have no qualms with the way other people carve. Like, you do you. at the end of the day, it's the print that really matters. And if you get a beautiful print, like, it doesn't matter how you bake the cake. If it's delicious, it's delicious. Hello, Coulter. Ah, hello. Pam, 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 right? Streams are more about interactions, yeah. But also, we like the prints, right? I hope we like the prints, and it's not just about personality, because I don't think I can survive on that alone. We love the prints. Good, I'm glad to hear. So I have some news. Maybe some of you, I just posted something in my stories a couple hours ago. I had a day today where my partner was out the house and she took our son with her. She went to meet some friends. And so I had a day in the house, and my plan was to read a book, but I ended up setting up a Discord, which is so much more work than I was anticipating. But I got it done, and there's probably a bunch of bugs. Koringami's here. This is why I wanted to talk to you. I was really struggling earlier, and I was thinking, I should just message Koringami, but it's probably... he's asleep right now. I was trying to set up something similar that you did for the woodblock printing, Dave's channel. I don't know, what is that one called? I just see the Baron picture. Mokangan discussion. So I set up something similar that you had on your welcome page there, where they had to do an emote to get verified. I struggled so much with it. Yeah, respect to you for doing so much work on that, on like keeping it on track. I do want to say that I'm not trying to compete with that Discord at all. I'm trying to make it a little less broad. Like, you've got lots of channels there that people can just like share their work and talk, and suppliers and links, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So mine's got really nothing to do with that. I've got some different channels. One of them, the main reason, the impetus for setting up a Discord was so that I can get some segments for streaming. I don't have the same sort of print collection that Dave has, and I don't want to do the same thing anyway. But I do want to have some sort of structure, and one of them was going to be a tech support. That'll be the first one I implement. And I wanted a place where people could submit questions, sort of technical questions, like we had at the start there. I'd like to avoid doing like front loading the streams with so much technical stuff, because I think it probably off-putting to any new people coming in, and like, oh, it's just like a tutorial stream. I want it to be a bit more relaxed than that. I think that would be a little heavy and not so fun. So I want to do at probably the hour mark. Do like a... I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. Maybe I can take your suggestions. Question time or tech support. I've named the channel Question Time at the minute, just because it's got the word questions in it, and people know to submit questions in that channel. But maybe we'll get like a tone that plays, and I'll put up a little animation on the screen. And we'll have question time. Or any of your other suggestions if you've got them. You need bots to do that. Oh, I got it working in the end. The assigning roles thing. Yeah, I got a couple bots and I set it up. I managed to do that, and I made a little emote especially for it. People always overshare anyway. Yeah. Matt, we're humans, we like connections. I guess Discords and streams and stuff have sort of become third places, although it's not quite the same. Hello, Flyfish. It's early. First time. Welcome, welcome. I've got some tea. Grab your coffee. Snuggle down for a morning carving session. This used to be standard for me. I used to, back in my early days, when I was still in ALT, I first came to Japan, I'd be getting up at like 5:36 to do like a couple hours before going to school. I enjoyed my early morning carves. Recently I do more late night stuff. After Tuku's gone to bed, Diana's gone to bed, I get my Asuka Sensei projects finished. Did I carve that? Maybe not. Gotta be careful on stream. Losing my place. Deleted message. I'm not sure what that is. Stop spamming caps. Sorry. Maybe the bot is a little bit strict. We have over 50 viewers now. Oh, I think the average for the last one was like 63 or something. $63 on the last one, I think, yeah. There was quite a few people. I was surprised by the number of people who like came in and left. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I don't know if that's a good thing. We had quite a few people stop by, but an average of that was quite significantly lower. But for a good a first stream, I was really happy with those numbers. That's incredible. And I was worrying today that literally no one would drop in. I don't know. I really thought my numbers on my YouTube and stuff, it's like 70% Americans. And I guess it's not even my own family are watching my videos. It's a little bit niche. If you're not interested in woodblock printing, I guess it's a bit dry. I wonder if any of those will show up. I did send them the link, but they left me on red. Maybe by shaming them, it will make them say hi. No, everyone's at work. Anyway, so Golden Week. We had 4 days. And what did we do on the first day? On the first day we had a barbecue. We went to my partner's sister's house. We had a nice barbecue there. It was glorious weather. Then the day after we did something as well. It's been really active. The day after, what did we do? What did we do? Maybe it was just the day at the park. A nice rest day at the park. And then we also went clam fishing. Well, I don't... Gathering? We went to hunter and gather some clams. We went to Ibaraki, which is like an hour and 50 minutes. An hour and 50 minutes in good, decent traffic. But because it was Golden Week, it took nearly 3 hours to get there. So we left kind of early, which was lucky, because we just met the tide at just like an hour before low tide, and we went there. But there was thousands of people on the beach, and I guess because it was the middle of Golden Week, everyone's off work. Basically, anyone who has like a contract employment in Japan, they get off during Golden Week. If you work an hourly job, then in, say, like a shop or a restaurant or something, same as anyway, you don't get those ones off. But if you have a contract, you get Golden Week off pretty much as a mandatory thing. And so everyone in Japan is off at that point pretty much. Only service workers are not. Where should we go? Let's go up here. So everyone had gone there, but the clever people had gone there. The season for clam foraging had started a little bit before Golden Week, and the smart people had all gone there before that. And they'd taken all the clams. There was no more clams. You're not allowed to take them if they're under, I think it was 3 centimetres. If they're under that, you're not supposed to take them. And there was nothing bigger than a centimetre left there. It was nuts. So you take a little rake and you sort of like dig at the sand quickly and in between the waves. I didn't get any clams, but Ayano got 2. And she cooked them last night. All the work like cleaning the clams out, bringing them home in a pot with seawater and stuff. She cooked them, and one of them didn't open, which meant that it was dead, so you can't eat it. So in total, after 6 hours of driving and maybe like 4 hours of 3 hours of digging on the beach and like playing with our son, we got 2 clams. And I'm guessing those are some of the most expensive clams ever. It was more about a nice day at the beach, to be honest. Never heard of clam foraging. Yeah, no, neither had I. I didn't really know it's a thing. In the UK, we have razor clams, which you just like pour some salt into the hole, and they can't breathe, so they pop up, and you grab them. Also, I used to be really into bushcraft when I was younger, and I used to do all that, like hunter and gathering and eating limpets, you know, and catching razor clams and stuff like that. But this is the first time I'd heard of like clam foraging, and it's massive here. The Japanese, they really like seasonal things. What's the other thing in spring is whenever you go to the mountains, there's always people collecting sansai, which are like mountain vegetables. And there's like little fern heads and little bits, little fresh nibs off the top of the certain tree. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really good in tempura. Snowy Evergreens, hi, welcome. Good evening, Taran in chat. Good evening, good evening. Spiegel, I don't read. Is that Chinese? No, it's Japanese. Sorry, my kanji is awful. Just clamming here. Takenoko spring too. Yeah. My partner actually has a tradition of doing that. She goes with some school friends every year. They've been doing it since she left high school, junior high. And she goes digging for takenoko, bamboo shoots. That's much harder work than the clams, though. The clam you just dig with a little rake. The bamboo foraging, you really have to. You take like a pick, what do you call it, a crowbar, and like really dig down through the soil. The clam foraging was more luck than anything. Just if you happen to dig in the right place and the thousands of other people haven't already dug there, you can get lucky and get a clam. But collecting bamboo shoots, there's a little bit of a skill in that. You've got to see the right ones. You can't get them when they're too big. You just got to see them when they're just poking out, just like a centimetre out. You see the little fluff on the top. So I can imagine that's quite fun. No chocolate eggs here, just clams. Yeah. Give that man a clam. You've never heard of pouring salt? Yeah, it works like a treat. You just go with a big bag of like really cheap salt, and just pour it in the hole, and they pop up. You have to be quiet walking over. If you want to just dig down for them, you have to be really quiet because they're really sensitive to vibrations. So you sneak up and you like dig really quick, and you can grab them that way. Or the lazy man's way is just take a bag of salt and pour it down, and they just pop up and come to you. Choco clams sounds absolutely foul. You can keep them for yourself. I keep really losing my spot. Maybe you guys can tell me if I've missed the line. Let's see how focused you are watching this. When I get into a story, I like lose where I am. I'm gonna have to be really careful when I'm doing the declaring work on this block. Now you're off camera? No. Where am I? Here. Ah, thank you. Cool. See, I've lost where it was again. It's up here. It's a good thing this is my imprint, actually, because I'm allowed to change the designs from this area. I can fix it easier. Perfect, thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Honest and on camera. Catch you later, Flyfish. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. I mentioned the Discord, but I never actually put it up in chat. I did make a link for it. There is an official Discord. You don't have to go running to it now, but if any of you are interested, or if you have any questions, the nerdier the better. Or not. Being a tree, it's also, yeah. Especially this one, as it's like it's a few hundred years old, this tree. So, yeah, it being a little snarled and weather-worn. That's not the way we play the game here, though. This is not the way I work. I'm making excuses, but it's like not my personality at all. It's not the way I work. It's a slippery road that I start making excuses. This is the way. It's supposed to be like that, isn't it? No. No, I drew those lines. I carefully edited those lines. Those lines are the way I wanted them. And God damn it, that's the way they'll be. Even if I have to fill in everything I did on chat with plugs later on. I can tell when I get focused. I start moving a little bit quicker and I stop chatting. I did check before, but I can't remember. It was a while ago when I decided on the schedule for the streams. I did check what time it'd be in the UK. I know I've got a couple of followers who are German. I think it's like maybe 2:33 there, which would mean what? It's like 1:32. 2 o'clock in the UK now. Yeah, so it's 2 o'clock in the UK. 2:25. Koringami, you're not British, are you? You're just good at Google. $3.15 here. Are you from... Where are you from? Germany? Or have I just made that up? $3.15... Oh wow, nice guess. That was an absolute shot in the dark. I don't know why. I knew I had some people who were German in the chat. I didn't know who was who. I'll remember that now though. Missed that completely. You're German too, Ruha. Yeah, but I know you live in Japan. I've seen you here. How long have you been in Japan now? Two years now? Really? Was it really that long ago? Jesus. It's true what they say, like, when you get older. There's a bunch of people in the chat now who are just, like, a little bit older than me, like, screaming, "Goddamn millennials. You're only 30, you're still young," but... The older you get, the years just absolutely fly by. I guess I just became a father and now I'm already like making dad jokes and saying, "Where's the time gone?" I'm becoming a pastiche. Is that the correct use of that word? Maybe not. Oh, okay. It hasn't been that long then. Next month we'll start your last year in your 30s. Enjoy it. You got to do something big then. I didn't do anything for my 30th. I don't think so. We'll do something for our 40ths. Any plans for your 40th? We're actually soon coming up on the hour mark, are we? Wow, the time really flies. I gotta be more concise with... I should probably write some little post-it notes of all the things I have to say, want to talk about. And there was a couple things. I put memos here. Not memos, but I put some reminder items. I'm going to Japan in October. Nice. Will you be staying mostly in Tokyo, or will you be doing the Grand Tour and all the other areas? Have you got a plan, or are you just going to sort of wing it? Japan in October. It's going to be cold. Matt, just before it gets cold. Actually, that's just before the weather really turns, isn't it? Actually, October's the best season, yeah. But you'll miss most of the autumn leaves, I guess. But that's the best time for camping. I always go on my birthday in November. I always do a winter camp. That's one of my birthday traditions. So October's actually perfect. Yeah, the summer is awful here. It's every winter, like by the end of the winter, it's always a little too cold here. Like, it's just slightly too cold than you'd like it. Autumn and spring are like really, really beautiful here, but they're so short. It's like a month of autumn and spring, and then the rest is like scorching or frozen. And I really love the winter when it comes around. I'm always really happy for winter to come because I can't bear the heat. And then towards the end of winter, it drags on a little bit. And then the spring comes, but like a month after the heat really starts, it starts to get sticky and awful and horrible. So I'm not a big fan of summer. And my partner really loves the summer, but hates the winter, and I really hate the summer and love the winter. So we're always, one of us is a little bit not happy about the weather, except in spring and autumn. You went last year in September. Like to go back around October. Yeah, it's autumn and spring. That's the time to come. Only 2 weeks and a half. That's a decent holiday, that. I'm going back to the UK in September, is it? I've been once in 5 years back to the UK, and we've got our first trip to take my son and see his aunties, not his sisters, his aunties. Who are all very excited to meet him. So I'm going to miss the best season in Japan, actually. I'll still plan a camping trip. But we'll be back there in September, which would be really nice. But we're only going for 10 days, including the travel time. So I'm quite envious of your 2.5 weeks. Only, she says. You're for sure European. There's a bunch of countries in Europe that have like 28 days national leave, right? I don't know the exact number in Japan. They added a bunch of like national holidays because everyone was working themselves to death. So we've got stuff like Mountain Day and Sea Day, but most of them, except for Golden Week, are like 1 day out of a week here. In a month, you're lucky if you get 2. Yeah, Spain is 22 days a year plus official holidays. So that's okay. The numbers I'm talking about are just like the national holidays. and then you get like sick days, I guess. And each year, different companies, they'll like increase that. But it's not mandatory, those. I think the mandatory is like 7 plus national holidays. So 22 days sounds fantastic. Spain. Spain is somewhere I've never been. I've got a couple friends who have travelled a lot, and both of them have told me that Spain is one of the best places they ever travelled to. So, congratulations, I guess. Have to plan a trip there at some point. Is it Spain where there's that... It's sort of like a Christian pilgrimage, but it's like a really nice trek. Is it Spain? I think it's an old pilgrimage route, but people... Portugal. I think maybe Camino de Santiago. Camino de Santiago. Maybe that's it. Is it a long like path and you stop off and you hike with people? It's sort of like the... What's the American one, the big one? The Great Northwestern. It's a big route, yes. Yeah, it must be Spain is the one I'm thinking of. I'd like to do that. Maybe when my son's a little older. I've got a couple trips in Europe I'd like to take him on. One of my bucket lists is to walk a portion of that. Appalachian Trail was the US one I was thinking about, thank you. And then my biggest one that I've had since, I don't know, I used to be really into like wilderness and bushcraft and stuff, and there was an episode of... Does anyone here know who Ray Mears is? He was like my idol as a kid. Does anyone know who Ray Mears is? Off camera, thank you. We'll get better at it. So Ray Mears is like this British bushcraft guy who used to train SAS, and then... Anyway, he had these bushcrafting shows. And in one of them, he went canoeing down the Ardèche, and I really want to do it. So one day that'll be up there. We'll do the Camino de Santiago, and then we'll do canoeing down the Ardèche. 2 weeks canoeing down the Ardèche. Like, not on the main bit with the arch, but like further downstream, away from all the people, camping on the side of the river, singing Voyager songs, making bannock. I've lost half the chat now. Everyone's tuned out. Ray Mears, the better Bear Grylls. Using Ray Mears as a comparison, Bear Grylls as a comparison to Ray Mears. It's Bear Grylls is the crapper Ray Mears. It's not Ray Mears is the better Bear Grylls. You got it backwards. Ray Mears is the point of that quote. Tall and happy welcome. Yeah, I must have been a weird kid because my first sort of concert I went to was not before I went to any like festivals or music things. I went to see Raimi is live, which is just hilarious to me now thinking about it. And I took a friend along as well. I must have been like 10, 11. I took a friend along. And I said, do you want to go to this thing? There's like this cool live speech. And he didn't know anything about it. And it was just like an old, slightly heavy man standing on stage talking about his most recent adventure in the canoeing across Canada. He said he had fun, but I'm not sure he was. When I was young, I used to be obsessed with edible plants and living off the land. I made my own sandals, moccasins, leather coat. Wow, I didn't know that about you. That's cool. Were you and your pal the youngest by 30 years? Yeah. Yeah. There was no one remotely. Everyone was like in their 50s and 60s. And then I was like, I don't know, I was like 11 maybe. And my friend who was like falling asleep on a stage in Llandudno, which is, if you don't know the UK, the Llandudno is the middle of nowhere. I don't even know why he had his tour date go there. It's just a backwards little town, and well, it's big for around where I lived, but it's a nothing little venue. That's funny, I haven't thought about that in years. I've got to rewatch that. His target age group of retirees. Yeah, well, I'm sure they were younger when they got into him. Like, I fit sort of his demographic more now. But I'm sure most of the people are like 60 or retired. A lot of them started when they were a bit younger. He was on TV for a long time. I guess he still is. I wonder if he's got any new shows. Hey Terence-san. Exhibition in France, collaboration with Hokusai Museum will open from the 28th, June 7th, and September. I'm so excited. Next, I can't read that word. Nantes in France. I'm not sure. Be careful with that exhibition. If they're gonna send the real prints, that's great. But the Hokusai Museum, they have a bunch of replicas on display there, and they have no plaques saying about any of the replicas. And I know the people who made the blocks and made those prints, so they're not that old. Most of the prints on display there. It's still a nice museum. They had an exhibition before of Chinese and Japanese warriors, and at the same time I was making my Hokusai reproduction, that exhibition was on, and I went there, and it was really, really good to see a lot of those things, because it's very similar to one of the prints I made, the one with the Liu Bang fighting the white snake. I went there and they had a bunch of these books, and I found one of these books before I went to the museum, and I went there with the goal of like hoping to find this book, and they had like 3 copies of it open to like different pages. I don't have the link for it right now. Maybe on next stream I will post the link to that one. Any links I want to share, I have to copy and paste them into my notes app because I'm using my phone to monitor the chat. It's a fantastic book though. I will put it in the next one. Hang on a minute. It's past the hour. We're not going to do our we're going to take a little break from this for a second. And we're not going to do a technical thing just now. But I did want to show you something. Was it last weekend? I went to the Tokyo National Museum, which is in Ueno Park, and the Adachi Institute were having their big exhibition of all the modern reproductions they've been doing. I think they said they had something like 160 different prints, and a lot of them are like this type of thing. They've got all sorts of different styles, and I have some thoughts about Adachi, and I've seen some of the work, and it's not like they're doing really nice work. They are able to do really nice work, and they're doing collaborations that, like, all of them aren't really my cup of tea, like style wise. I'm a carver, obviously, so I like the old ukiyo and stuff. This is a very famous one, obviously. This is with Yayoi Kusama, the famous Japanese lady who does everything with dots. This is a really big print. But yeah, when they put their top people on and they get their best printers on it, they do fantastic work. So here it is up close, some of the dot work. And they have the blocks for this one. I'm really sorry, I can't zoom out on this camera. Maybe I can, it's better just to put it on the face. Because I'm trying a new lens. That lens is not going to work. I'll put it just on a plain one. We'll get rid of everything else. Get rid of that. And we'll just do it like this. I'll hold it. The one thing about this exhibition, if you are here in Tokyo and you're able to visit, I highly recommend you checking it out. It really surprised me with the quality of the stuff there. Those drops would drive you insane. The blocks are like this big as well, so they would drive you insane to carve, I'm sure. They had a few people working on them. I was really surprised with the quality and the levels. They also have a bunch of anime stuff, which is really not my cup of tea. So if you do go, I'd just skip the first floor. Stuff at the back on the first floor is good. And the older prints. So they've been doing this type of stuff, working with artists for a long time. These are much older. What's the date on these ones? These are 1979. So they've been doing stuff like this for a while. And they've been practicing with a bunch of different artists in a lot of different styles. You really can't turn the block when there are several carvers hacking away, yeah. I don't know how many of them would work at the same time. My guess would be it would be one person per block, but they'd split the blocks. Each person would get a different block. The higher ranking people would get the more delicate ones, and then the lower ranking people would get the easier blocks. That's the same way we sometimes do that type of stuff in Takumihanga. This was rather a big block as well. They had the block to, was it this one? They had the block to this one on display as well, and it was, I don't know, maybe like this big. It was quite a big block. It was bigger than Orban, bigger than a standard Orban. I found a couple places they'd done Edeki, but the lines were really, really thin. Where's the print I'm trying to show you? This is one of the ones that would stand out, these monkeys here. And there was one more that I really enjoyed. This one, the replicator. I don't know what I liked about it. I think it was just a combination of a piece of art that can be translated really well, followed by giving it enough blocks to make it work and doing it in a Shinhanga style. I think this one is very successful. Stuff like this on the other page, I really don't think there's any... I don't know what putting it in the medium of woodblock prints is doing for the images. Like that could be done with silkscreen, that could be done with linoleum. There's nothing... In fact, I think it's probably done better with those techniques. Like, I used to do some silk screening, and I think the print that I'd make from silk screening of this image here would look nicer if it was done silk screening than it can by printing it like this. It looks fine, but like... So, you know, they're trying stuff. Some stuff is hit, some stuff is miss. Some artists' work translate really well, and it makes sense to translate them. And other stuff, it's sort of like, oh, what's the point? But I applaud their approach to casting a wide net and finding what works. And, you know, there's no damage done if everything doesn't work. Like, you've tried something and you've learned something in the process. That's it. If you are in Tokyo during the period, I enjoyed this artist as well. I think it translates really well. If you're in Tokyo at any point during this... I don't know when it's on till, sorry. I don't have much information. I wasn't planning on doing a big promo for this. I just wanted to show the book. I think this woman's face works really well. How can I show this? Faces are notoriously difficult to do in woodblock prints. There's certain styles that work really well for it, and it's the main reason why you'll never see... Well, you won't see many faces in Mokuhankan, because they're really difficult to pull off. Only certain styles really work for it. There's a reason the classical ukiyo-e bijinga face looks the way it does, not just because of the Nihonga tradition, but also because if you realistic faces, sometimes they can come off a bit janky and they look a bit weird. So when I see a face that is like really artistic but also fits the medium, I like that a lot. I agree that super flat design's much better with smooth. Yeah, there's some designs that just lend themselves to being better for woodblock printing, and it makes sense. It's not just, can it be done? Like, anything can be done. I can turn an oil painting into a woodblock print. Is there any sense in doing it though? We already have an oil painting. That's probably... It was painted in that medium, and it's probably the best medium for it, so let's just leave it there. I don't know. It's difficult selecting art that you think can shake up the tradition but still have meaning and relevance. We've got 15 more minutes. I'm going to do a bit more carving and I can read through some of your questions. Sorry, I was covering the chat, so I couldn't even chat to you while I was looking through this. Alex Dodge was featured in the exhibition. I absolutely love him. I'm not sure, I can't remember his names. There was lots of names. I will search. I'll get back to you if you come next stream. Maybe I can write a reminder for that. I'm going with a friend this weekend. Yeah, I think it's worth a visit. There's a slight caveat to that. Like, they're doing really interesting work, and the carving was better than I thought, and the printing was better than I thought. I don't know about their quality control for prints they sell, and I don't know how much they're selling them all. I know they're selecting the best prints to put in. I don't want to say anything negative about them. I thought the exhibition was really good and well worth a visit. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I won't say anything else. Need a bit of oil here. Ueno Park is beautiful. Yeah. If someone here doesn't know what Ueno Park is, look at Benten Pond. That's a really nice Shinhanga print of a portion of Ueno Park. For those of you who stuck around to the end, I will give you a little sneak peek of a special block, because I'm not sure we'll see any of it on stream on Friday. I'm going to start working in earnest on it tomorrow. And these new blocks, they're quite small and they don't take much carving to get done. So I'll give you a little sneak peek of a block I'm working on. I think I'm okay. On camera now. Korigami, you were too slow there. You've got to be quicker at telling me when I'm off camera. So for me, we're closing in on 11 o'clock, which is usually fine, but recently I've been... Well, our son's been getting up at 4 to 5 every day. And so now my body clock is sort of wired to him waking up. So even if he doesn't wake up, nowadays I'm waking up like 5. Ayana does the early morning shifts with him. And then when she goes to work, I take him to school and get him ready and give him breakfast and stuff. But just because he is waking up, I'm waking up anyway. And I don't want to. I want to stay in bed. 5's too early. I'm not one of these... what are these guys? The 4 a.m. club. Maybe a complex question, but what does a typical workday look like for you? A typical workday is... I start... Well, before 2 weeks ago, it was easier to answer. I used to start at 8 o'clock a.m. I'd work until 6. Technically, my work hours were like 9 to 6, and I'd get an hour lunch break. I don't really ever take the hour lunch break. I usually like do other stuff in between. So I tried to start earlier so that if I needed to help with something in the evenings, or I had like other work that needed to be done in a rush, or I needed to go to Asuka Sensei's, I could quite like conscious free take that time off, because I've been doing the starting an hour early every day and taking a short lunch break. So start at 8, work until 6, finish, do all the stuff with the family, have dinner, bath the son, put him to bed, and then usually from like 8:30 start work for my apprenticeship work, if I have any, which I don't always. And then if I've got tight deadlines, then it'd be working late. And if I don't have tight deadlines, then try and finish by like 11:30. Have a nice bath and go to bed. So that's a typical work day for me. Right now, that's a lot of working hours, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. Right now, it's a little easier. I don't have any work from Asuka Sensei right now, but I guess in the next couple of weeks there'll be some more stuff coming, and that's a big project, so I think that'll be a few months in the making there. So what I've been trying to do is like sort everything else out in those evening times. I don't have work from Asuka Sensei right now, so trying to sort out Discord and trying to sort out... I was doing my website. That's all done now. Well, as done as I'm going to get it for now. Setting up a new... all like the stuff that goes around here. I want to do some emotes and stuff like that. Oh, hello Riku. Thank you. It's not actually that much progress. It's quite embarrassing. I guess they look okay. We'll see how they print. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure what time Dave sleeps. I don't know. You think you know what project I'm talking about? It looks quite hard. I can't say too much about it. We can't really discuss that online. And most of the projects, you won't see me carving any of Dave's stuff online, because of Asuka Sensei's stuff on here, because usually there's NDAs and I'm not allowed to publicise them at all. Thank you, Spiegel. Cheers for checking in. We'll catch you next time. Thank you. Late in the morning. Sorry. The VODs are always available. Catch the VODs. Skip the stream. It's okay. No, I wasn't saying you were doxing, but I want to talk about it. It's actually not that difficult work. I'm streaming to one person here. It's not that difficult. It's the same as that Yayoi print. There's a lot, so you all have a bit of reference. Those dots. there's a project coming up that I'll be working on where it's a lot of this stuff. I can zoom in here closer. It's a lot of this sort of stuff. It's sort of shapes that should be lining up, but the registration's not that critical, and it's just fiddly work. It just takes a long time. Asuka Sensei's print parties are still available. Yeah, you need to book in advance. He doesn't do them as much as he used to. But if you book in advance, yeah, you can sort of class out with him. He has a link on his website. You can message him directly. Where am I? Let's do one nice little flowy curvy line. We'll see that. Maybe I can teach you. We've got 5 minutes left. Show you the stroke order. So there's one little shape. That's how we carve that. I think we're getting to the end. Will there be another key block for this one? Yeah, there's 2 key blocks. There's one for the main lines on everything, and then you can see on the leaves here, these darker splotches, they actually give me guides for all the other colours that go inside. There's like 4 colours in the leaves and this key. So yeah, those are the 2 main keys. All the black lines that you see on the trunk, and then the second key is just these little flicks. We'll get to that at some point. At some point we'll get there. I think we will leave it there. I had a surprise. The camera's not going to work. It really won't zoom out any more than that. That's maximum. I'll flick to the other one. If you are about on Friday, this is the one we will be, the print we'll be working on. This will be finished. I guess I'll finish the carving on this tomorrow. I've just done the leaves up here, but I guess this is a day and a half worth of work, max. And then the clearing will take a little bit longer. This key is a little bit soft. This is for the new Mokankan series, yeah. And I don't know if I should show it to you, but I've already shown it now. And all we can do is ask forgiveness first time chatters coming in when it's, yeah. So if you're here on Friday, we'll be working on that print. Friday will from now on be Mokankan work pretty much exclusively. And then this stream will be for personal projects, which for the next little while will be this bonsai print, which we will finish at some point. We'll keep it a secret. Yeah, hush, mum's the word. Thank you for the stream. Yeah, no, thank you guys for showing up. It's really baffling. I think we've got 60 viewers now, which is like wild for a second stream. You guys are awesome. Thank you for showing up. If you are interested, check out the Discord. You can send your questions, and then at the hour mark, we can have a little alert, and we can have a fun impromptu little session. Maybe I can have a TV block, which I can show you some stuff on. I'm working on some stuff. But yeah, if you feel like it, join the Discord. If you want to watch replays, you can check Ginkgo Proofs, which is my second YouTube channel. Invalid link. I'm not sure what happened there. I'll check it after. Invalid link, really? It didn't work? Shame. Shame. Let me get a link and I can just post it in chat. Wow, this is not the way we want to sign off, is it? Sorry. Copy, invite, copy link, back to chat. We're getting there, we're getting there. Paste. This link should definitely work, so hopefully, if you weren't able to click the last one. France, it's banned? I'm not sure about that. Anyway, thank you guys for showing up. There will be lots more interesting streams. I'm going to get better at this. I'll have more interesting stuff to talk about. First time chatter coming right in as we sign off. Thank you for showing up, Farron. Feel free to lurk. I'm a lurker in streams as well. No stress. Thanks, Darren. Much love. Peace. I'll see you later. And the title screen.